Okay, I'm not going to have to bother telling you what it is you're looking at. It should be self-evident. So clearly, the most famous sculpture in the world, the magnificent Sphinx. It has been under repair since the time of Khufu. There's no documentation to say that Khufu built the Sphinx, but supposedly there is information that states that he repaired it. And the head is much smaller than it should be, so of course it's been also some theories that say that it was originally Anubis, the dog figure, but I believe, and many others do, that originally it was a lion, representing a female lion, representing the maternal nature, or the loving motherness. And you all obviously know that Robert Schoch made it very famous that the vertical weathering is from precipitation, and that would have been at a minimum 10,000 plus years ago. That's been backed up by more than 200 other geologists from around the world. And the tail also obviously has been repaired and repaired and repaired and repaired and repaired. And in fact today it's still being repaired. So here you can see older repair, and here newer repair. So just a slow and gentle walk around this ancient enigma. So scaffolding at the back, showing that they are still working on restoration works. Sorry about the wind. And this is where we see that there is an opening at the back end. And the Egyptologist Mark Lehner supposedly put a tarp. This was discovered when they were repairing the Sphinx, and Mark Lehner supposedly came on scene at that time, and he had a tarp put in front here, and he spent at least 2, if not 3 weeks daily inside, and stated after he came out to the press that he found nothing inside. You can see there is a ladder inside, and it goes down pretty far. So clearly there's a shaft that goes down. There could be tunnels that interconnect with what is called the Osiris shaft, which is in this area, and maybe many other tunnels that are also interconnecting here on the Giza Plateau and possibly beyond. I'll try to cut out as much of the wind as I can. again, or you can see that this is all bedrock here. That is all bedrock there. And there is another drill hole, diagonal. But if they had drilled probably here, then they likely would have encountered the where the open space is. So it goes from bedrock here to stone, limestone, over on the other side back to bedrock. So this could very well be the location of where the chamber is underneath. Okay, we have 2 hours here at the Sphinx. So I'm going to go back and have another look at the opening. I believe our friend Carlos is there already.
I heard Adrian went down.
Who?
Adrian.
What now?
A little bit ago.
Ugh. Okay, so you can see there is a metal ladder. How far down do you think it goes, Carlos?
Let's see. I have a little light. Let's see. Do you see my light?
No.
Let's see.
Hey guys, did you take the flashlight out?
What do you think?
I think it goes like 20 feet down, maybe.
Okay. So Carlos believes it goes 20 feet down.
There's my light. Do you see my light?
No.
Shining a light down there.
Okay, then there probably are horizontal tunnels as well.
Yeah.
1890.
So you see this area here was made so that you can actually open up this area. You can lift this section out. And underneath it supposedly is where the halls, so-called halls of records are. So this wooden walkway was put in on purpose. They didn't need it because you have all the stone, but they did this in order to hide the fact that there is a hollow in the Sphinx. So now let's go have a look at the area in between the paws. So the dream stele is here. It has 2 lions. You can see that there's a lion on the right side, a lion on the left side. And this too, the fact that this too is not the bedrock here could indicate that there's another opening into the Sphinx in this area, as well as the one in the front that we saw. Again, they did a drill. They drilled here, and I guess they found nothing but solid stone. They didn't drill from up that way towards the left paw. which is supposedly where the open chamber is. Another thing some people say is that under the ear that there is a door. But of course I'm here physically now. And unfortunately I can't zoom, but hopefully you're watching on a big TV. But as I go up, there is a rectangular depression, but there is no door. There's no door there. And what these protrusions are curious. Some say there are other entrances into the Sphinx here as well. The stone on top appears to be quite old. The stone below, relatively recent. So that's what some people also say, is that these two protrusions on this side and the other side of the Sphinx are in fact other ways to get inside of the underground complex. But we may never find out, because they're never going to open them up again for anyone to go inside, or at least highly unlikely. But again, with the Sphinx enclosure aspect, see the difference between the horizontal and vertical weathering. The vertical weathering is from precipitation at least 10,000 years ago, and the horizontal is from wind and sand. So different layers of the Sphinx are harder than others. This is obviously a soft layer where there has been quite a lot of erosion over the course of time. And then here, a harder material, so it has not eroded as much. And finally, we're going to go to the Sphinx Temple. Whoever made this, originally there was only the head exposed, or a bulbous limestone protrusion called a yardang, and then all the rest of it had to be carved out. So whoever did this work cut the blocks and moved them to create what we call the Sphinx Temple. So now we are at the Sphinx Temple, and you can see at least 3 or 4 layers of massive multi-ton blocks. And that is how they shaped the Sphinx. As they cut the blocks out to create the shape, they then moved them over here one by one and created the Sphinx Temple, and also likely the Valley Temple, which is next to it. But in fact, they are one huge building connected by a tunnel that's down at the bottom. So some of the blocks have been estimated to be, again, upwards of 40 tons. I'm being conservative with that, but that's what some say, 40 tons. And this shows you where the bedrock is again. Look at the extent of the erosion. Again, this is thousands upon thousands upon thousands of years of erosion, and the scientific estimate, not the Egyptological, but the scientific estimate, is that the Sphinx is a minimum of 10,000 years old. So twice as old, pretty well, as the dynastic civilization. Now we want to go up and peek through this gate and see what we can see there. So again, you see the extreme erosion, and likely that around in the middle on the right hand side there's an area that was blocked up in dynastic times that would connect the Sphinx Temple with the one to the right, which is called the Valley Temple. So it's such an honor to be here. I believe it cost our group $3,000 for this 2-hour visit. You can see all of the standard tourists are outside, and we are inside. So once again, a quick look down into the fact that there is a ladder that goes down into the Sphinx. Didn't bring a powerful enough flashlight, but hopefully you'll be able to figure out how far down it goes. Looks like at least 20 feet. And then supposedly there are side tunnels as well.
Okay, it's on. So what we have here under the shaft is a pit that doesn't go down very far at all. But when we look to the top, there's obviously another shaft up there, blocked off with wood at the moment. You could probably get up there if you were extremely, extremely brave. But otherwise, blocked off, go somewhere.
Thank you.